All right, so we all think we have manners. We say please. We chew with our mouths closed. Basic human decency, right? But let me tell you, after years of social observation, which is a fancy way of saying I watch rich people like a detective in an Agatha Christie novel, I've realized there are levels to this. The upper class? They have a whole unspoken rulebook of etiquette that most people don't even realize exists. And to be fair, some of it actually makes sense. So today, I'm breaking down 12 surprising etiquette mistakes that the truly wealthy never make. And before you say, I don't care about impressing rich people, neither do I. But knowing these little social codes, it's like having a cheat code for moving through life with grace. Or at least avoiding side-eye at fancy events. Let's get into it. Number 1, saying, nice to meet you. Yeah, that totally normal, harmless phrase? Turns out the upper class never says it. Instead, they say, how do you do? Or simply, it's a pleasure. Why? Because nice to meet you assumes you like them already. And rich people don't assume anything. It's all about neutral, polished phrasing. The first time I heard this, I thought, okay, but what if they're actually nice to meet? But apparently it's about keeping things effortlessly cool. So now, instead of my usual, nice to meet you, I just say, it's lovely to see you, even if I have never seen them before in my life. Works like a charm. Number 2, introducing yourself instead of being introduced. Apparently, in old money circles, you don't just walk up and say, hi, I'm Martina. That's for peasants, I guess. The proper way? You wait for an introduction. Because introductions are a form of social currency. If someone introduces you, it means they vouch for you. If you introduce yourself, well, you're just some random. Does this mean I now loiter at parties waiting for someone to formally announce my presence? Not exactly, but I have noticed that when introductions are done properly, the conversation flows way better. So next time you're at an event, just linger casually. Someone will do the honors. Number 3, holding a wine glass by the bowl. Listen, I was today years old when I learned that gripping a wine glass by the bowl is basically the equivalent of eating soup straight from the bowl. Apparently, the stem exists for a reason. It keeps your warm, grubby little hands from heating up the wine. But it's not just about warmth. Holding the glass properly, by the stem or base, also keeps it looking clean. Ever noticed those cloudy fingerprints or worse, that unfortunate lipstick stain right where you're about to take a sip? Yeah, not a great look. The upper class always holds their glass by the stem to keep it pristine. And once you start doing it, you do feel just a little more sophisticated. Number 4, overusing. Thank you. Okay, so this one blew my mind. The super wealthy do not say thank you a million times. Not because they're rude, but because in their world, effortless confidence is key. Instead of excessive gratitude, they acknowledge service with a simple nod, a warm smile, or at most, a single thank you. No need to overdo it. Now, if you're like me and were raised on over-apologizing and thanking people, this feels so unnatural at first. The idea of saying just one thank you and then moving on, it goes against every people-pleasing instinct. But here's the thing. Overthanking can actually make you seem nervous, overly eager to please, or even a little insecure. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how the most self-assured people don't fall all over themselves with gratitude? They simply acknowledge kindness or service with grace and keep it moving. So next time you catch yourself saying, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Thank you again. Just pause. Take a breath. Say it once, mean it, and let that be enough. It gives off a certain unbothered energy, and people start treating you differently when you carry yourself that way. Try it and see. Number 5, talking about money. Even casually. You might think the wealthy love talking about money. After all, they have plenty of it, right? But nope, the truly rich, they never bring it up. No talking about salaries. No asking, how much was your house? Or gasping, oh my gosh, that's so expensive. None of it. Because in their world, discussing money directly is, well, deeply middle class. Why? Because wealth, at least in old money circles, is meant to be felt, not announced. If you have it, it's obvious in the way you carry yourself. The places you go, the things you own, which, by the way, are rarely flashy. If you don't, well, drawing attention to it doesn't change a thing. Instead, the upper class talks about ideas, travel, art, and, weirdly often, horses. Seriously, if you've ever been around old money, you know that at some point, the conversation will circle back to equestrian sports, even if no one actually owns a horse. Polo, dressage, thoroughbreds, somehow it's always relevant. And here's the kicker. Even when they do talk about wealth, they use coded language. No one says, I bought a $5 million summer house. They say, we found a place on the coast. The less you say, the more people assume. So, if you ever find yourself in a conversation with truly wealthy people, here's a tip. Skip the money talk. Instead, Ask about their latest trip, their favorite books, or if all else fails, just say, "So, tell me, horses?" It works. Number 6, being too polite. This one sounds fake, but trust me, over-apologizing, excessive pleases, too much smiling, it doesn't come across as charming. It reads as trying too hard. And in the world of the truly wealthy, trying too hard is the biggest faux pas of all. See, real etiquette isn't about bending over backward to be agreeable. It's about making others feel at ease. And nothing makes people more uncomfortable than someone who is clearly uncomfortable themselves, constantly fidgeting, over-explaining, or laughing just a little too hard at an unfunny joke. So next time you catch yourself doing the nervous politeness spiral, channel your inner composed heiress and just exist. Number 7, being too picky with food. You know that one friend who makes a whole thing about how they only eat organic, or how they can't possibly eat gluten, despite eating an entire pizza last week? Yeah, old money doesn't do that. They eat what's served, period. If they can't eat something, they discreetly move it around their plate. No commentary, no dramatics. Because making a fuss? Very new money. Number 8, overdressing or underdressing. The wealthiest people are never the flashiest in the room. If you're wearing head-to-toe designer logos, you're signaling, "I just got money and I want you to know it." True old money? They wear quality, but quietly. Perfectly tailored clothes, maybe a single heirloom piece of jewelry, and a complete lack of insecurity about it. The key? Wear things that fit you, not just the trends. And if you're unsure, always go for understated elegance over "look at me." Number 9, texting during a meal. We all know this one, but let's be honest. We still sneak a glance at our phones at dinner. The difference: the upper class actually follows this rule. Their reasoning? Being glued to your phone signals that you don't respect the company you're with. And honestly, they're not wrong. So now I just leave my phone in my bag and pretend I've been invited to an exclusive experience, even if I'm just eating takeout with my friends. Number 10, over-explaining. Ever notice how the most powerful people don't ramble? They state things simply, with confidence. Example: instead of, "Oh, I'm so sorry I can't come. I just have this thing and I feel really bad, but next time I swear." They just say, "I won't be able to make it, but I'd love to next time." See the difference? It's direct, but still warm. No over-explaining needed. Number 11, correcting others publicly. This one is so subtle but important. If someone mispronounces something or gets a fact wrong, do the rich correct them? Never, because making someone feel small in public is bad form. Instead, they gracefully move the conversation forward. True class is letting someone save face. Number 12, acting like you have something to prove. The biggest mistake? Trying too hard to impress. The truly refined don't need to prove they belong. They just do. The moment you stop worrying about looking polished and start focusing on being present, that's when you exude effortless confidence. So, which one of these surprised you the most? Personally, the not overthinking thing still messes with my brain. But hey, small steps. Let me know in the comments if you've accidentally broken any of these rules. Because same. And if you made it this far, you officially have impeccable taste. See you next time. Stay classy. Manners matters.